Welcome back, you remorseful bards and bardettes, to I Cast Vicious Mockery. I'm Austin.
I'm Matt.
And today, what are we talking about today? Well, just before we started, we were talking about spells.
Yeah. There's
You
a lot
wanna-
of different ways. This show I think should cater to a lot of different kinds of people.
Mhm.
You know, people who've played D&D forever.
Yeah,
People who've never played D&D
right.
before.
Wizards, maybe even sorcerers.
Yeah, all kinds of people.
Nah. If you're a sorcerer, you can get out.
All right. Well, that's not very inclusive, is it?
They're not of sorcerers, but like,
I guess it's inclusive of everybody that's not a sorcerer.
yeah,
That's
and
true.
That's pretty much anyone you'd want to.
Anybody you want to be around with.
I don't know. Who do we have any sorcerers in Cataclysmic Rift? I forget. Is Saren a
is
sorcerer?
a sorcerer, yeah.
That explains a lot.
Wait, hold on. NPC sorcerers. No.
Yeah, we haven't run into any.
No, you haven't. Wait, no, you haven't.
Yeah, anyway, all we were
Well-
saying though was it turns out I think that artificers just prepare spells the same way a wizard does. Like
Mhm.
you can you know a whole list of like basically any of the artificer spells, and then every day you can prepare them, and then that's that.
Well, that's like a druid.
Oh, that's like a druid?
Or like a cleric.
Mhm.
Because wizards have
Oh,
to...
right. They know a certain number, and then they can prepare. Yeah.
Well, they have to learn their spells before they can prepare them every day. Before it's really actually kind of complicated.
Yeah.
Because the wizard spell list is the longest spell list in D&D. Like wizards can
it
cast
basically
almost
includes
anything.
yeah
Exactly.
There are a few spells it doesn't include.
Right. So to balance it out, wizards have to learn the spell from like another wizard or from like a spell scroll.
Mhm.
And it has to be a level that they can know. They have to spend time like copying it down into their spell book.
Mhm.
And then the spells in their spell book, they have to prepare a certain number of those.
Artificers are not quite that hard.
Well, that's because
but they don't really learn that many different spells. I think their spell list is limited enough that I only have maybe at 5th level maybe like 20 options for spells, or 27 or something. It's not like
that's not a lot.
3,450,000 that a wizard would have at the same level.
right, exactly. And that's the balance, because wizards are all about casting magic,
right?
And it's a scholarly thing for them, So it is for artificers as well, but
yeah, they do magic as a supplement, though. It's like that's not what they're about. They're not magicians. Right. What they are is they are builders. They're chemists. They're whatever.
Yeah,
whatever their subclass.
They work with their hands.
Yeah, dictates, and then they use magic to, basically in place of modern tools that we have. Because you can't, otherwise, how do you role play that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they just use magic for, well, like in Liam's case, for blowing stuff up. But I mean, other people do different stuff with it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's interesting because another one that's speaking of sorcerers are another one that are very different, because sorcerers, every time they level up, they pick what spell they know.
Yeah.
And they always know all of their spells.
I've played a sorcerer before. Why have I played a sorcerer? I don't remember.
I don't know
when that happened, but or maybe I just rolled somebody a sorcerer.
Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah. Those they're pretty. Well, they're hard to use. I think. I think that's how I would describe a sorcerer. They like, if you're good at using a sorcerer, you might get it. Like, I feel like they take some practice, some getting used to.
Yeah, I think that almost all of the spell casting classes.
Yeah,
they're because the rules of spell casting. I think that the stickiest thing is the terminology, because there are character levels and there are spell levels, and they're not the same thing.
Yeah,
and they're not like intuitively related.
No, they're not even close to. It's not.
Yeah,
they're not related, basically, except that as your regular level goes up, your spell levels kind of also go up.
Right, exactly. So
But
like,
when you're level 20, you're going to be using 9th level spells, and that'll be very impressive to everybody around you.
yeah, there's like the highest level spell that can be cast by a player character, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think that by itself is confusing to
Mhm.
some people. Like, hey, you're 3rd level, and they're like, cool, but I can only cast spells that are 2nd level. What's up with that?
Yeah,
And
like
then it's
are my levels broken? Did I
y-
miss some spells? Like
yeah,
what
it's like,
where'd
no,
those go?
no, spell levels only go up to 9. But like, what else do you use? Roman numerals, like it's the same. They're just numbers.
Right, those are also just numbers. I think there have been other things people have done, like
Mhm.
classifying spells as like lesser and greater or whatever, things like that. I mean, it all works out to just levels of spells still. The other
Yeah.
thing that people have done, which I think is pretty cool, it adds a nice flavor to it, is giving the spells a point cost. So it doesn't matter what level the spell is;
Mhm.
they're all like the same thing. But if you use more points, some spells become more powerful, the same way that spell slots work.
Yep. Or yep.
And some of them require a lot of points. Like if you cast Wish, it takes 20 points to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a fun thing you can do with that is one thing I saw was if you do it that way, you can make it so you don't know exactly how many points you have. Or no, they made it so you don't know exactly how many points a spell will use.
Mm-hmm.
You roll for that. But if
Oh.
you go over your point limit, it doesn't. The spell works. It just has severe negative effects on you.
Yeah, that's very Aragon reminiscent.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That totally
Yeah,
is.
that's like exactly how magic works in that
Yeah,
setting.
yeah.
Yeah,
If you use magic that's too powerful for you, it still works. It just
it just is
extracts its charge,
right,
right?
right,
Like it.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
cool.
they do talk about that, like how if you
Yeah,
tried to turn an entire lake into steam, it would happen at the expense of you and like everything around you being drained from it, or well,
yeah.
if you can even channel the energy from all the things around you.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it just kills you.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Right, like you turn yourself into steam, basically. That's still pretty. That's an effective spell.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
That would
Like
be.
no cost. Turn yourself into steam whenever you want.
There you
Let's put
go.
that one in Unearthed Arcana. Okay,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
we'll
mm-hmm.
play
And
test that.
the only consequence is that you're dead and can never come back.
Well, never is. I mean, yeah, most most resurrection spells require some physical remnant of your body.
But there is the highest level one does not.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, which one doesn't?
True
A true
resurrection.
resurrection?
True resurrection.
Just does that require just like your spirit, or like how do you
So,
how do you pick somebody?
you, I think it's just like a mental thing, like you conjure them in your
Oh,
mind,
okay.
or maybe you have to have like a personal effect of theirs, like you
Oh,
have to
okay.
have something that belonged to them
Hmm.
in life or something like that. But well, first of all, we talked about this before. First of all, a huge material cost, like insanely high material cost to be able to cast it.
Hmm.
But also, even that has limitations because you can only resurrect somebody who has died within the last century, which
Oh,
is
okay.
which is a long
So
time.
yeah,
But
there's another one
yeah,
that can resurrect somebody 1,000 years dead or longer, but you need their skeleton. I don't think you need a full skeleton, but you need
mhm.
like a part of them.
Yeah, I think
I mean, it's
it's
not going to be. Well, I guess it could be their skin fossilized in amber or stuff like that. But
sure goes full on Jurassic Park with it.
yeah,
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 absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, here let's see what we got here. Um, Starting a campaign, party member relationships. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
So starting Cataclysmic Rift over from the beginning, this is one thing I think I would do differently.
Yeah.
Um, because the party is so big.
Yes. Okay. So that makes sense. Because, for instance, the Adventure Zone graduation,
Yeah.
the setup is these three characters all just happened to become roommates at D&D college, all right, at
Yeah.
fantasy college, right?
Right.
So that is easy enough to, and it's fun to role play that actually,
Yeah.
because it's like a
It's like,
real,
oh
it's a
man.
real experience that people go through.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to do it in like this fun setting and with your friends who like stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, doing it with 8 people, like a huge party, that's really hard because then each character has to get to know each character like in real time. And ooh, that's a lot of different connections to make, right? Like
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time for them to trust each other, for them
Yeah.
to, know what the other people are about, like what their goals are, but also to know what they can do, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know what a lot of the other characters in our party can do fully yet. Like I don't know if they've
Mm-hmm.
got some sort of tool proficiencies, they speak a bunch of languages. Uh, I don't know that stuff about them. So when we're in
Yeah.
a situation, it's always like, "Hey, does anybody have anything?"
Yeah. Hey,
And we're all like, "I don't know."
yeah. Yeah. It's like crickets too, because I think
Mhm.
that, everybody,
Well, part of it is nobody wants to steal the spotlight for too long.
yes,
Right?
that's
So
true
like
too.
if it's your character, if every time a tool proficiency use comes up, it's your character, you're like, "Oh yeah, I got it, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I should do it this time or." But no, like yeah, that is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
If you're the one who's good at using Smith's tools and lockpicks and what, then you're gonna be doing it all the time.
Right. Exactly. 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 And I think that so because earlier you mentioned the campaign that you did for a little bit.
Hmm.
Honestly, I think we only did what, 2, 3 sessions of that.
Yeah, two or three at most. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was fun. I was having fun with it. I
Hmm.
definitely enjoyed it a lot. It just wasn't working out at the time schedule wise. But uh, the uh, the thing you mentioned, like we all split off and did our own thing. But how many players were there? There's me,
4, I think.
Anna,
You, Pat, Alex, Anna.
and Anna. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there were four
If
of us.
we just read Mjmap Caxel Pixelarb's name,
Oh
we'd
yeah.
figure out how many people.
Well, your name's in
Mjmap
there too. Yeah. So
Yeah, there were 5 people total, so
yeah, okay.
4 players.
4 players. Mm-hmm. By the way, Austin made an NPC that used all of our initials.
That was just his name.
That was his name. His name was Mjamap Caxel Pixelarb.
He eventually he did get a last name.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, which was several more initials.
Nice.
Yeah. For me personally, I
Uh-huh.
think that gnomes are the type of race where like that's just kind of how their names work. It's almost like a random collection of letters, it seems like.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it
I
would
get
just
it.
be hard to say in English, and that's just how it is. And
Mm-hmm.
but they also speak the same language. They just happen to use crazy names.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing for sure. But so we all kind of split off and we're doing our own thing, and you were
Hmm.
bouncing back and forth between all of those.
Hmm.
I just really don't think that is very viable in a campaign with so many
Right.
players.
What it would have to be is more like you get the party in a couple
Mhm.
of different groups,
Yeah,
maybe
it'd
of
be
three
small
or four
groups.
people, or no, two to four people per group,
Hmm.
and then that group kind of goes through its thing, and they kind of decide what they're doing while the other group is role playing,
Yeah.
and they're doing something, and
Hmm.
then when this group comes to a decision, I don't know, they like raise their hands or whatever.
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
switch over, they do their thing while this group is deciding on their next
they
step.
they do that grade school thing where they raise
Yeah.
their hand and then after a while they like hold it up with their other hand, like that. But yeah, so that is great. And I think the thing that I totally agree with you. I think the thing that's tough about that right now
Mhm.
is that we haven't been able. This is that's an in person thing.
That's a lot easier in
Oh,
person.
because over Discord or whatever you guys, whatever
All
you
the volume
use.
is the same. You
Exactly.
cannot split it into. I mean,
You
we could switch to
switch
different chats.
channel. Yeah, exactly.
I
We
guess
could.
we really could have separate channels, and then you could bounce back and forth in the channels.
Hmm.
But then there's no possible way for the party to tell what's going on with the other people, right? Which in
Yeah.
person they could stop and like listen in.
Yeah, yeah.
if they wanted to, and that's fine. I think like
Yeah.
because we don't need to like go like this group does their thing and then we go back and like tell them what it was.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. No,
you
there's
don't
no
need to
need
always
for
do that.
no, but you can. Because
Sometimes that's fun
yeah.
for like when there's supposed to be hidden information or when your character is like an unreliable storyteller just because they're dumb
Yeah, or
or
yeah.
they see things in a very different like kind of out there way
Or they're a compulsive liar.
or they're a compulsive liar.
I like that. I thought about that for a character, making that their flaw. They're a compulsive liar.
Yeah.
They just can't help it. They
Yeah,
lie
they just
every
do
once in a
it
while.
whenever it like well because I've known some compulsive liars. They do it to make themselves look good, but sometimes they just do it like because they mess it. Oh, that is one of my character's flaws.
Oh, really?
Well, it's not. He's not a compulsive liar. He just not prefers to lie. He thinks that lying is the right thing to do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in certain situations. I mean, you could argue.
He thinks it's the right thing to do whenever it will work.
Liam?
No.
Oh,
Edward.
Okay. Edward. Oh,
Yeah.
Edward. Okay.
That's his like it's not even I don't know if it's listed as his flaw, but like because of his backstory, that's how he feels.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When you were saying that, I thought you were talking about Liam, and I was like, I never knew that about him. But okay.
Nope.
No,
His flaw is that he's maybe too competitive.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did blow 3 first level spell slots on a game at a carnival. So
that's right. That's right. He did. Well, okay. So
but that was all he had.
So one of the remedies, because the result, we're seeing the results of that in Cataclysmic Rift, which is that nobody trusts each other. Nobody trusts anybody else.
Right.
Like any of the NPCs even.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of distrust going on. And
well, part of that too is the setup with saying that it was going to be like a dark, dangerous campaign.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that feels like any character who we grow to trust, they could turn around and betray us though, right? Like this could be the one.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like what you've got to do in a situation like that is everybody is what they say they are, except for maybe one person. Well, even that. So if there's a chance that one person is not what they say they are, then everybody is not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to like be pretty straightforward with almost all of your characters almost all of the time. And maybe like if there's going to be a twist, you've got to set it up by like having someone tell you that, oh, this person might not be what they claim to be. I don't know, like you can't just, you'd have to almost before even meeting that character, you'd have to be warned.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Acacius Ludo, so we can kind of tell what he is. And I'm gonna be honest, he doesn't seem like a super nice person. I'm sure he's polite, pleasant to talk to. I don't think he treats people exactly nicely. In a way. That's the vibe I got.
Wow, I must have nailed it. That's interesting that you got all of that from my portrayal because
that was the first line that he said. I don't remember what the line was, but like as soon as he started talking, his voice, you nailed his voice. It was exactly like, oh man, this guy he'll do some serious stuff to us if we like make him mad. He'll really, really mess us up. But at the same time, like he has an appearance to keep up too.
Yeah,
right?
He's the leader of the country.
Yeah. So he doesn't just like blow people up for no reason or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But he also seemed a little ruthless.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad you got that out of that.
Yeah, that's how he came across. So good job.
Thank you. He's my favorite character I've role played so far.
Yeah,
by far. I really liked being him, and I'm
also the barefoot thing very reminiscent of Steve Jobs, so it kind of like gave off that vibe too.
Oh, okay. I didn't. You know what? I have heard that about Steve Jobs. Wasn't the connection I was thinking of, but but it's a good one. Yeah, it's a good connection.
Yeah,
that's good. But to go back to it for a second. I absolutely think it would have been a lot better for the campaign from the get-go, starting off, if more of the characters knew each other, or even if all of the characters knew each other before the campaign started, because it's no secret that there's
like
a lot
the Digi-destined.
The Digi-destined. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like they're all pulled into this thing, but then they're all like, "Wait, you're here?" Like, no, it's not that this is the person that they would have wanted to go on an adventure with, but like they're familiar with that person.
Yeah, like, I know you.
Yeah, like you're that weird kid from school.
Yeah, we all go to the same middle school.
What? This is great.
Whoa. But the I think that it could have been cool if everybody knew each other already.
Yeah.
But and it's no secret that everybody in the party has some kind of secret, right? And I think that everybody knows that everybody else has some kind of secret.
Oh, I guess Liam's secret is what, like, his exact, what he's like, where he's at in his work and what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's sort of a secret out for like proprietary business reasons, not even like
it's like
if you asked him, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's like this, but don't copy my drawings."
Yeah, it's like trade secret stuff.
Right.
Exactly. So
like I'll tell you if you sign a non-disclosure agreement.
here I have some paperwork.
Yeah. We'll get Impy to write something up.
Here's the NDA. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, so I think that sows a lot of distrust within the party itself too.
And if there's distrust in the party, how can they trust other people? When they if Dissel trusts someone, how does Callie know she can trust that person? She can't.
In fact, it's more likely that she won't trust that person.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And that, I think, is what's shooting the campaign in the foot. Well, I mean, it's not like a terribly awful campaign. It's not like everybody's having a bad time.
Dude, I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I know. I think that it is fun, but I think that the biggest, like, one of the bigger flaws of it
what's gonna
is that,
like, what would change to build up some more momentum in the campaign and have it go like really get some punch to it?
Well, that's just it. That's exactly what I've been saying. I think that the thing that would really drive this campaign forward is if the party could find a way to trust each other. Because it doesn't matter if you guys trust all the NPCs. In fact, I think it's fun that you guys don't, and I don't think you should trust all the NPCs.
Yeah, we're talking about you, Citra.
Yeah, like all of them, like none of them. You shouldn't really trust it. You know, you're right, because of the nature of the campaign.
Yeah,
I don't think you should trust any single one of them.
Yeah. Well, really, you know what though? There are definitely some who will be trustworthy to an extent. Yeah. Oh, and will eventually. Oh, maybe we won't have spells to detect lies. I don't, because I'm not going to get the strong ones of those, or any of them. Maybe I don't remember. Like the artillerist spell list doesn't include very much of that. To be honest,
you know what's interesting?
I do get Revivify though.
Do you really?
Yeah, like 17th
hold
level.
On a second. You get because of the scaling.
Yeah, but I do eventually. I can get Revivify. I might not take it, but I can get it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see who's left in the party by then. But. Well, here's the interesting thing, and I thought for sure this would come up. Well, I guess it came up when Citra wasn't around. I thought that, and you still probably wouldn't be able to trust things after this, but I would think it would be an interesting thing if you asked Ember because Ember listed all of her spells that she knows.
Yeah,
and one of them was
she can detect lies.
True
or whatever. She can.
Circle of truth or something like that.
She can compel truth, or failing that, tell if someone is lying. Is that how it works?
So well, she can tell if they succeed or fail the saving throw.
Okay.
So she knows whether or not they're being compelled to tell the truth.
Okay.
Is basically what it is. And
if they're not, she can't tell if they're lying. But
no, but I think she can just try it again.
Yeah.
It's a second level spell.
Yeah. Oh well, she can cast that a lot of times then. What level is she level 10? No.
No.
I assumed that they were like level 10-ish.
Do you want me to disclose the secret to you? I will.
Oh, wait a second. What's her class? She's multi-classed.
No.
No? Okay.
She's a paladin.
She's a paladin.
She's
okay.
just a straight up paladin. Yeah.
Okay.
The secret, I'll tell you the secret because I think it's fine to know.
Okay.
This adventuring party that you guys run into, some of them sometimes, they will always be precisely one level ahead of you.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
So right now they're level 6.
Wait, what is going to happen when we're level 20?
They'll be level 21.
They'll probably be dead. They'll probably be dead by then.
Maybe.
Or well, because like, I guess when they hit level 20-ish, they won't be a party anymore at that point probably, because they're already kind of like doing their own things. You know, like they have their own goals.
Yeah, they're like a conditional party.
Yeah,
kind of.
So by level 20, they won't really necessarily need each other very much. Not all the time, at least.
Right. Right.
No, okay, so I do love having the other party there. That's like that's an awesome thing. That's like a great game design thing.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Especially if they can kind of show us like how to do stuff in combat or how to handle like social situations in the game and stuff like that. Because that is a perfect use for a character who's like, this is how good you can be, but you're not there yet.
That's why I made them all one level ahead of you guys.
Yeah.
Because I wanted them to the last combat situation was a bad example because Ember, she flubbed all of her attacks. Yeah. And rolled I think not the lowest possible damage, but the second lowest possible damage on her cone of fire. She rolled, I think it's 3d6. She rolled 1, 2, 1 on her 3d6.
Whew,
yeah,
that's hot stuff.
I was so mad when she fought, but it was like whatever. I mean, you know.
I'm sure that we'll have more chances to see what she can do in combat.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, so. But yeah, if there's anything that I would really like to see happen amongst the party, because that's really slowing things down, is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I guess the other issue is, does everyone want their character to be trustworthy?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I guess
because I think if everyone knew where we all stood on that, like we don't have to like go around the room and say, yeah, I want my character to be trustworthy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we kind of tried to do that at one point. Somebody went around checking all of the alignments of the characters.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like Liam he's what, chaotic neutral, I think. Or maybe just neutral. I don't remember. I think chaotic though. And he's neutral in that he doesn't he doesn't have a preference for certain people or something like that. Like he doesn't have a certain group of people who he thinks are good or better people or whatever. Like he cares about his own interests and like what he can do for the world. So he's almost good.
Almost good.
He's almost good.
Almost good.
But I gave him a neutral because he will do bad things that he thinks are going to be good.
Yeah, it's
for
like
the world.
It's
he thinks he knows better, which makes sense because he's like 19.
Exactly. Yeah, every 19-year-old knows best.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
that's great. I think he might be the youngest in the party, or he's tied.
He's almost tied. Oh no, Summit's youngest.
Yes, right.
Summit's youngest.
Yeah. Yeah, by a significant margin, I think.
Yeah, isn't she 15?
Something like that. I can't remember.
Little baby.
Every once in a while, I look at everyone's character sheets, but it's been a long time since I last looked at everybody's character sheets. But so, in conclusion to that,
we're concluding now.
It might be.
I'm gonna conclude.
I'm gonna pre-dude. I think that it would be good to just to air that out, like
just get everybody on the same page
before the session. Just be like, you know, because there are people who are afraid of taking the spotlight too much.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who aren't afraid to take the spotlight, but also maybe recognize that everybody else isn't taking the spotlight, and therefore then they don't want to give other people the chance.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So one thing that I could do better as a player that I just realized is I could push other people into the spotlight a little bit.
That's what I'm
like.
saying.
I don't want to put anybody on the spot or something, but like, I think I need to refer to Kinzoku more. You know,
exactly.
when he's around and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Like really get some of that stuff go. Like, because Kinzoku has, I think, the highest wisdom in the party. And he's best at perception and things.
Yeah. You know who's really good at that? Carly.
Yeah.
is really good at that.
Yeah.
And you know who else is really good at that? Forrest.
Yes.
Forrest and Carly are both really good at referring to other players in character for certain things.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to be something that Liam would have to be good at eventually anyway.
Right.
He's got to get it down.
Right. You know, if he's going to...
Yeah.
His
philosophy is that A's hire A's and B's hire C's. So you never hire a B. That's his thing. So he's got to know people. He's got to be able to work with the best.
Yeah, and as like an adventuring party, the people that you're with,
they all have the capability of being A's.
Yes, they all have some serious potential.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And if anything, Callie is at the very least on the same level as you intellectually.
Oh, she's smarter than Liam in some ways. Not on specific technical details of Liam's projects.
Yeah.
But that's because it's his thing. Like he knows, he's obsessive about the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's his whole deal. What you'll see later on in his life is that he continues that actually, and his philosophy there stays the same. Where it changes on other stuff, he thinks obsession is a great tool.
Yeah, it's a tool. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's how I would describe it too. There you know, there are a lot of people out there who do that and are very successful with it.
Right.
Some people would argue at what cost.
Right.
You know, but
at the same time, they knew the cost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like they knew the cost, and a lot of the time they enjoy that. You know, like
exactly.
It's the cost that
some
like
people do.
It's like if you are going to a drive-in, the cost is that you have to sit in your own car. But like, that's why you went to the drive-in.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
okay.
You wanted that. That was the point.
Yeah.
But like, that is a difference between other ways of watching a movie. So technically, it's a sort of cost.
Okay, I see where you're coming from, and I think that what we've been talking about so far really does play in rather well with this next topic of the fear of playing wrong.
Right.
Which I think is what stops a lot of people from doing things in the game.
Yep. Well, because I know, so personally, the one session where Liam snuck out at night, looking back on that, I was like, I should not have taken that long for this. I should have cut it off when I realized that, well, I hate to break it to you guys, but he realized that he had woken everyone up and that it would be too risky to go for his main objective.
Yeah.
So I had him realize that, but like I just kept going in character when I should have just been like, all right, well, let's see if you can go out and blow something up real quick. That's what I should have done. And I feel as though I played, although it was a fun sort of tension thing. If you're into that, I don't think it was very successful. I don't think it was that great. I don't think it was a very fun gameplay time because most people couldn't control anything. Like there were only 2 characters who were involved, and there wasn't really any like. The stakes were unknown, right? Like if the stakes were known, it could have been pretty fun because then it's like, oh shoot, can she stop him? You know, when someone was tailing him, this might be a problem if he gets through there, and there's only one person who can do this. But then we should have used some spells and like sped her up or whatever too. I don't know if anyone else has those. I've got Long Strider and Expeditious Retreat. I don't know if anyone else has that.
What do you mean spells to speed her up?
Like Long Strider increases movement speed or things like that.
Why would she
or stealthy stuff?
why
to
would
make
she
sure.
have needed to speed up? I'm not sure what you mean.
Oh, like to catch Liam. Like what if we don't catch him? Like we should all be doing our thing to make sure we do catch him. Before he.
You mean like after you left the gates?
No, after I left the room.
Like she was tailing you the whole time, though.
Well, that's true, but I mean, you know, like none of the other characters could get involved then.
Oh,
basically.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, they could have followed, I guess.
Well, I think that it was like an ignorance thing. Like nobody else really knew what was happening.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Diswell didn't even wake up.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it ended up being a pretty, I think, boring moment in the game for a lot of people. Yeah. Plus, I mean, there you go, getting the characters to not trust each other. But that's so. Now, when I make decisions in the game, I'm going to be thinking about that, right? And be like, is this the right move? Because I can't take back the moves.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's not a video game.
Yeah.
D&D is real life.
It's real life.
It is as real as you and I right here today.
If you die in the game, you die for real.
That is true. Yeah. Everyone who has died in D&D has also actually died or is still alive right now. But might still die.
And those are the options.
Yeah. Yeah, so we don't know. We don't know if they're going to make it or not. Maybe somebody who plays D&D will survive.
But okay, so here's what I think about that. So you said that, you regret this thing and you wish you hadn't done it.
Yeah.
But I think that it was worth it, because if you had never done it, you would never know.
Well, that's true too.
That either.
Well,
so I think
that's a tricky thing too, because I wouldn't have regretted it if it resulted in a meeting with Citra.
Right. Okay.
I regretted it because I stuck to it too long. But even then, yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think that part of that was on me though, because I thought about it later and I thought, why everybody else was sleeping? Why why would that, like, the stealth roll should have had advantage or something, like, because like really what, like I'm sleeping and it's in the middle of the night and somebody gets up to go get a glass of water downstairs, I'm not gonna wake up and notice.
I don't wake up if Anna, so if she takes a shower at night and then comes into bed late. It's usually like 5 or 6 hours later.
Okay. Yeah.
Roasted.
Sure.
I don't wake up at this point. Like I just sleep through that.
Right. Exactly. So
other small noises do wake me up, but like some stuff just, it's normal. That one could just be normal Liam lumbering around at night eating pizza sounds.
Right.
Right. To the rest of the party at this point.
But also, I could think that maybe that was me adding tension to it a little bit, because it's like now other characters are noticing. You know what? I think I did it. And I'm trying to get back into my headspace at the time. I think I did it because we were typing back and forth, and I didn't want there to be too much dead air.
Right. Agreed. So we got the rolls then going too.
Yeah. Like I didn't want,
which is good.
Because I can only focus on one thing at a time. I've had this problem multiple times.
Right.
Where like there's something happening and then there's something else happening in the game. Like somebody asked me a question on the stream, but then somebody else asked me a question or to do something on the chat in Discord. And like I am like splitting I can't like split my attention that way. And I don't want 5 minutes of like nothing happening in the game while this other thing is going on. I don't really know if there's like a best way to handle that, but maybe that's a topic for another time. But that's something to think about.
Well, that's a tricky one too, because like
I want there to be able to be those sidebars,
right?
Because I want people to be able to like do stuff without everybody else knowing necessarily, because that's how it would be.
Yep.
At a certain point, though, I think if somebody's doing something, we've got to bring it to the stream because, like...
Well, I don't want to have to recount everything every time anyway, like I said.
Right,
So
exactly. And like, because the thing is that that's sort of like, to me, it's like a part of a challenge of D&D
Mhm.
is knowing something that your character doesn't know and being able to role play through that.
Right.
Um,
And you know what? Well, and because your character is going to get feelings about people.
yeah.
Like if you have a secret that you're keeping from me, unless we role play every single conversation that we have
Mm-hmm.
throughout all the time, and like every bit of eye contact, which you can't even do over Discord,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like unless we role play that perfectly, and who can do that?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
my eye contact with you is different than Liam's eye contact with. Wait, does Irelek have eyes? Anyway,
If you've never seen them, you
um,
don't know.
so yeah, the icon, it's a little bit different. Like the body language is different too,
Mm-hmm.
because like I'm gonna come out and say it. Forrest is not shaped the same as Marty. They're slightly different.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, one of them might be a turtle and the other one might not. I'm just gonna say it. Like
Which one are you talking about, though?
anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like it's not exactly the same. So you're allowed to know stuff that your character doesn't know, and
Mm-hmm.
your character can get a feeling like, oh, there's something going on here,
Yeah.
because that would actually happen
Mm-hmm.
if you were spending 24 hours a day with somebody.
Yeah, insight is a big thing. Well, that's what I
Right.
mean. That's what I mean. Whereas, like, everybody in the party is still treating each other like strangers, even though
Hmm.
technically in game you guys have spent
The
like 2 months with each other straight.
uh actually, well, yeah, two in-game months, which are each 45 days or something.
Yeah, exactly. So like almost like 3 real world
Three real
months.
world months, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So at that point they should know each other fairly well.
Yeah. They should have an idea
They
of
should
each
actually
other.
be annoyed at small things that each other do at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and but not have. So at 3 months, I think they'd be annoyed by some of the small things the other one does,
Uh-huh.
but not have said anything about it yet.
Yeah.
Some stuff like that.
Yeah. That's accurate.
Like that's where they should be. So yeah, that's one thing. But yeah, I guess so what do you do when you're deciding how much should a player, controlling a player character, worry about how much we're getting other people involved? I guess it depends on what they're going for, right? Does it? Should you be trying to involve other people as much as you can?
Like the other players, or
The other players, well, the other players and their characters.
Well, at the very least, there's a lot of different ways to think about it, and this is what I mean, because there's like a balance between playing your character. There's so many sources online where like DMs talk about how their least favorite phrase is "that's what my character would do,"
Mm-hmm.
because so many players use that as an excuse to do stuff that is annoying or like not fun for everybody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, oh, here we go again, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there's like a certain amount of that's what my character would do. I think that you have to, though, also be like, okay, the party needs this.
Right.
So my character is going to do this, and this is what they would do because it's what's necessary.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to reverse engineer some things that your character would do.
Yes. And so a situation like the Liam sneaking out thing,
Mm-hmm.
I think what it should have been,
Mm-hmm.
what I would do differently this time,
Yeah.
anytime there's like a sidebar,
Mm-hmm.
I would just say to the DM privately,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm thinking of doing. Here are all of my goals listed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever they are.
Yeah.
And I want to do it with nobody else knowing.
Okay. Yeah. There you
And
go.
I would send that message, and then if it seems like something that could happen, then we role play it on the stream, and like people see it happening. Yeah, that kind of thing. Or like if it's in person, same thing. Like I would just text you or message you on Discord or whatever. Like I would text you like as we're talking, I'd be like, and then I'd send something over, right?
Yeah.
Or just write a note and then like just slide it into your back pocket.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
Yeah, and that's
like while you're sitting.
there's the there's the interesting thing, because on Discord that's totally doable.
Yeah.
In person, not as doable.
Right.
I mean, it's
Well,
doable.
I would just get up to go to the bathroom and then like
slyly like whisper as you walk by.
Yeah. Well, I would actually write a note and like
and
give it to you.
Ooh, that's sly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to be looking out for that. But guys, I have proficiency in sleight of hand.
Austin does.
Yeah. No, not my character. Yeah. He would. I don't remember if his dexterity is high. It needs to go up if it can. Although I might just. I forget if I'm going to take feats for him or not. I don't remember.
Level 8's the next time.
Let's talk about that. We got one of Tasha's feet to talk about today.
Yeah, at least one.
Yeah. One Tasha's foot.
1 foot from Tasha.
Yeah. Cause I'm liking the sound of that. You know the one.
Oh, I know the one. We're talking about the best feat that came from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Chef.
It's on the cover.
Yeah.
It's on the cover of the book.
Technically.
She's cooking something.
Tasha
is a world-renowned chef. She's the next Gordon Ramsay, really.
This is what they wrote the book for.
Yes.
They were like, okay, we have this thing. I guess we probably should put some other stuff in.
Yeah, they were like, guys, chef feet. What do we think? So this sounds like a fun homebrew thing that I'd be like, yes. It's also perfect for our campaign.
Yeah, there's a character that probably should take this feat.
Yeah.
At some point. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Okay, so time spent mastering the culinary arts has paid off.
Yeah.
Here are the following benefits. You increase your constitution or wisdom score by 1 to a maximum of 20.
So that's already pretty good. Yeah. For what's that? An artificer, they get a bonus to constitution, but this is a big bonus.
Yeah.
And so now you've got advantage on all those concentration spells. Or not advantage, but you're gaining a boost on those concentration spells. And like wizards and sorcerers and stuff, they don't get that.
Exactly.
They don't get that fun stuff.
Yeah. You gain proficiency with cook's utensils if you don't already have it. Well, she already is proficient in cook's utensils, but whatever. It's fine. As part of a short rest, you can cook special food.
Yep.
Provided you have the ingredients and your utensils on hand. You can prepare enough of this food for a number of creatures equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus, which at the current moment is everybody.
That's everyone in the party.
Everybody in the party, including her.
Yep. Although, if we had Ember with us.
Yeah, if you had another person with you.
Somebody's got to go hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, Kinzoku doesn't eat.
I was also going to say that. Kinzoku doesn't eat, so...
he is a robot. He does not eat food.
Yeah. At the end of the short rest, any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit dice to regain hit points regains an extra D8 hit points. I'm going to go ahead and say Kinzoku probably can't do that because he can't eat the food. We'll see, but...
Is he unable to eat?
He's able to eat.
I think he's able to eat. What does the food do?
But I don't think he would gain any benefit from eating.
Right.
He can eat.
Does it just get like magic gone? Or is it just like... Clunk, clunk, clunk?
I guess we'll find out. We should try it.
Well, because then we could keep the food in there. And like a thermos.
Okay, it's insulated.
Yeah.
So... man.
That should be a feat, though. You are a thermos. It's a racial feat for Warforged.
They got a lot of like gears and stuff moving around, so it probably is pretty warm in there.
Wizards of the Coast, hire this guy. I'm gonna make your game great.
We're gonna make your game so good. So with 1 hour of work when you finish a long rest, you can cook a number of treats equal to your proficiency bonus. Right now that's only 3, but it's pretty good. They last 8 hours after being made. A creature can use a bonus action to eat a treat and gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus.
Oh, so 3 temporary hit points for free, basically.
Yeah. You know what though? It doesn't say how long that lasts. I'm guessing that lasts all day.
Temporary hit points?
Yeah.
I think they just last forever. Or no, they last until a rest.
Until a rest, yeah. They last until a rest, I think. So you might decide to do it after a short rest so that you can keep them then you're like doubled up on those.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing though is
Thanksgiving Day full.
We don't need to worry too much about temporary hit points because Liam can pump out 11 of them at any given time or something.
Yeah, does a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
But his flamethrower is more useful than the protector. The force ballista almost never going to be used unless we fight stuff with fire resistance, which, by the way, Liam is gonna suck at.
Well, just you wait.
Just a warning.
just you wait, buddy.
Yeah. Unless he has guns with enchanted ammunition, because I was thinking of ice ammunition, to balance that out. Because
makes sense.
He gets good fire spells and okay cold spells, and wall of wind. So anyway,
you're basically the Avatar.
Yeah. So but close. No, but more like a firebender than the Avatar.
You're a firebender.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's that for the chef. Do you want to talk about any of these other ones? There's a lot.
So are Crusher, Piercer, and Slasher just all the same thing but different damage types?
I think so. The Crusher's a little different.
Crusher's. Well, it increases your strength or constitution, but then bludgeoning
damage. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing with bludgeoning damage. So if you want to be particularly good at a particular type of damage,
I like Fey Touch just for the free Misty Step. Misty Step is a cool spell.
Misty Step is a really good cool spell.
Yeah, I just like that.
Actually, there's a subclass, and I can't remember which one, but there's a subclass in Tasha's that allows you to cast Misty Step, and
there is. Yeah, you can cast it once per day, I think, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember, but you can take somebody with you when you cast it.
That's pretty cool.
Which normally you can't.
That is pretty cool.
But that's at like really high levels, but still, it's a cool thing.
Oh, okay. In that case, yeah, I don't know if it's once per day, then I forget. I think maybe there was like a...
Was it the Rogue one? I don't remember. It might have been one of the Rogue ones. I honestly can't remember. I read through all of them, and it was kind of a blur. I actually read through all of them at work when I was bored. But anyway.
So what's Gunner do?
Gunner is...
I think I'm going to need that.
Dexterity increase.
Good, I do need that.
Proficiency in firearms. I think you already have that.
Have that.
You ignore the loading property. That's pretty nice.
I think I have Gunner.
And within 5 feet of a hostile creature, you don't have disadvantage.
You could shoot people at point blank range. That makes total sense.
Yep.
I mean, I guess the way that it works in D&D is like they could be grabbing your weapon.
Exactly.
But
that's how I think of it.
But then I feel like it shouldn't give you disadvantage. It should be like a strength contest if they use a reaction to try to stop you or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I can see it either way.
Yeah.
Because
I guess for balanced combat, it's not like a role playing.
It's a balancing thing. I think. Yeah, exactly.
Because otherwise, you would just walk up to people and shoot them all the time.
It's exactly the same thing as when.
Well, but at the same time, I guess that's what disadvantage is. Okay, it doesn't matter.
It's the same thing. I think is like, why can't Summit hide behind Marty when Marty is bigger than her? And it's like, okay, well, that's just because there is a feature of certain races that allows you to do that, and it would kind of make it
you'd be too good.
It would make
you'd be too strong because it
would make it useless.
If you're playing as a rogue, I hate to break it to you, but you're going to be doing like 100 damage some turns later on.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to walk up to people and like stab them, and they just like explode.
Yeah, getting a free hide like whenever you want is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway. I'm not saying like it can't work. I'm just saying it has to have a little bit more balance, like a little bit more setup or something like that, so that it's not crazy.
Now I don't know what feat Liam has though, because he has a feat that gives him proficiency in firearms. I thought, or he just has it. I can't remember.
No, artificers can get proficiency in firearms.
Oh right, it's an artillerist thing.
Yeah. You just have it. You might have the feat. Sharpshooter?
Not yet.
No? Okay.
Planning on getting that one.
Sharpshooter is insane. It's like a crazy good feat. It's one of the ones that some people don't even allow in their campaigns.
Right.
It's so good.
I think of the super crazy ones, Sharpshooter is the least overpowered.
Yeah.
Just because of like for what weapons it is and everything. But
because Lucky and Great Weapon Master are the other two.
And Sentinel was... Or is that one closed? I don't remember.
I don't know. If you were to tier them, I think that would be like a tier below.
Okay.
In overpowered.
Yeah.
The only thing about Sentinel is just it's a pretty big deal because people can't disengage from you.
Right.
And also, if you hit them with your reaction opportunity attack, they don't move. You basically trick them.
I like if you can get Sentinel, Tavern Brawler, and Grappler all on one character. Ooh.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a nice one.
Tavern Brawler gives you proficiency in improvised weapons, I think.
Proficiency in improvised weapons, as well as some kind of thing like when you hit somebody, you can then grapple them, and then Grappler lets you take that to restrain.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to just like somebody comes up to you and you're like, you shouldn't have done that, and they are stuck there. They cannot get away. And your next turn, you just slam them on the ground. You're like, gotcha.
So it turns you into a jujitsu master, basically.
Basically, yeah.
That's crazy.
In fact, it almost feels like History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi.
Yeah.
The judo guy, his like autumn leaf attack or whatever, where he knocks the other person over by using their reflexes.
Oh yeah, okay.
He never touches them. He just kind of like walks up and he's like, he moves like subtly in a few different directions, and they react to it and just knock themselves over.
Yeah, that's such a funny concept. That's actually
almost a real thing, though.
Yeah. I mean, I could theoretically see that.
Well, I mean, it's almost a real thing, as in there is a judo throw that does that,
where somebody falls over based on them trying to
stop
you from knocking.
So what it is you grab onto their wrist. I forget the name of the throw. I'll have to look it up. Kyuzo Mifune, I think, came up with it, or at least he used it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you basically just grab onto one wrist. You go in like you're going to do an arm throw, like a Seoi Nage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then you drop down, and you just squat down in front of their legs, basically, and you push on their knee.
Mm-hmm.
And humans, when something falls at their feet, they naturally jump backwards with both feet and push them out to the sides. And that puts them slightly forward, right? They're slightly off balance. And so what you do then is you just stay in the way of their legs and pull straight down on their arm. And that puts them right on the ground. And I've used it, and it's great.
It works, huh?
It works. It actually does work. It's insane. You need to have a really good setup, because otherwise they'll take their arm back.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But basically you use that, like, especially if somebody's already like kind of grappling with you and they're kind of moving back or something like that, but then they come in for an attack. If you do that as they like start to knee you or something, and you're like suddenly just down there, they're like, oh no, I'm in trouble. Like I messed up, and then they're on the ground.
And then they fall over. Yeah.
Favorite kind of thing.
That's cool though. And just imagine having a player character that does that kind of stuff all the time.
Just like that's
cool.
my deal. The improvised weapon thing though is really fun too. I've seen people who will like summon items, and they just like summon. It's a bottle.
Yeah.
It's a fork.
Yeah. I'm so glad that there's rules for improvised weapons too in the game.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right? And it's cool. But I want to talk about Shadow Touch because I like this. Oh, thank you.
Touched. Okay.
So basically, you're exposed to the energies of the Shadowfell.
Okay.
Right. This is a another plane.
Yeah.
Intelligence, wisdom, or charisma goes up by 1. That's a lot of options.
Go above 20?
No, to a maximum of 20. But you learn invisibility.
Oh.
And 1 first level spell of your choice, but it must be illusion or necromancy.
I think Liam might have invisibility. No.
I
don't remember.
You can cast both invisibility and that other spell once without expending a spell slot. Spell slot once each.
Ooh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And you can also cast them using spell slots of appropriate level.
I think I know of a character who could use this. Basically any character. But I mean, specifically in our campaigns, definitely this is something that Edward would take. That's his kind of deal. He loves not being seen the way that he is. He could also use the bonus to a score. And yeah, that'd be great. Dissol could use this. He
Yeah,
already has. I think he has invisibility,
he does,
but a free cast. Save up or well, I don't know
especially
how.
for warlocks.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah,
have a ton of spell slots.
he only
So it's
has
almost like a
2
bonus spell slot.
right now. But warlocks also get other packed features that usually involve spells.
Yeah, he might not have to worry about it either.
But a lot of those are only like once per
Anyway,
day.
I think we just put this on Summit though, and she just runs around invisible everywhere, like 80-foot movement speed, totally invisible, just going up, stabbing people or whatever. Well, I know that's not how it works, but
yeah, that's kind of dark though for Summit to be shadow touched.
yeah, that would be pretty unfortunate. Actually,
But
I guess okay, yeah, I don't know if she'd be able to survive going there because like a lot of things can't.
yeah, it's a rough place to be.
Well, I mean, like, so a young dragon would go there and just it would die. So, like a player character of level 5,
Yeah,
don't know if they'd survive that either.
Yeah, it'd be rough.
Older dragons go there and are corrupted by the Shadowfell. So, for what it's worth, I mean.
Right, but that's where the Raven Queen lives. So
Yeah,
it's
she's
nice,
like a bird.
It's a tourist attraction.
Almost.
Okay, you want to do some homebrew next?
Yeah, we got time for a homebrew. Let's just do one.
Let's just do one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's a good one?
I've been waiting to get to this one for a long time. User Thudnfer. We've had this user before.
Oh, have we?
Thudnfer. I think so.
Okay. I'll take it.
I don't. Maybe.
Thank
not.
you again for your contribution, Thudnfer.
So Overdrive is what this is called. This is a feat as well, a homebrew feat for Warforged specifically.
Okay.
Your energy capacity can surge for a brief moment. As a free action on your turn, you can choose to gain an additional action on your turn. Once you do so, you immediately gain 1 level of exhaustion.
I like that. Okay, so exhaustion
Mm-hmm.
is something I've been playing around with personally.
Yep.
How does a Warforged get rid of exhaustion?
Warforged can rest.
Oh, it still counts? I guess it counts, yeah.
Yeah, they like do like a shutdown and reboot.
Yeah, they do. They go into standby mode, but they're like still turned on here.
Yep. It's the same way that an elf rests.
Yeah.
It's like a state of meditation almost, but for them it's more like a reboot sort of thing.
All right. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I love the ability to like sacrifice something long term, or in this case, medium term, for a short term benefit.
Yeah.
It really sucks in real life because that's what loans are, but it's really fun in D&D.
Yeah. Like you might pay for that later. But and the thing is, like, you can use like one of those per day and it would probably be fine because level 1 exhaustion really isn't that bad.
No, that's fine.
Level 2 exhaustion is already
that
pretty
affects
tough.
you in combat.
Yeah.
Pretty severely.
Yeah.
And then level 3.
That's
I haven't even got there yet with Liam.
Oh, you haven't?
No, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, level 3 exhaustion is pretty bad. Level 5 is essentially like you're also like it's like having 4 other status conditions basically.
It's like it's completely
pretty
crippling.
bad.
It's completely crippling by that point.
But if you can like, I mean, you get 5 turns of like, all right, I'm gonna hit again. Or I'm going to cast another spell right now. We need this right now. I could see that actually being useful outside of combat. Like, what if you need to cast Featherfall twice really fast, but it gives you a point of exhaustion? So now you can't run away as well, depending on how much you have. You can't get away as fast from whatever wherever you jumped off a building, like whatever reason it is, stuff like that. Although I don't know. Well, it depends on what your Warforged is all about. The Warforged race, to me, is a really interesting one because they're almost like purpose built, right? So you
Yeah.
have to come up with a good enough reason for it to be a wizard. You can't just be like, "Oh, I'm a wizard robot, and that's just how I was born."
Yeah, right,
Like
exactly.
you have to completely customize the whole thing to be a wizard.
Or
Mhm.
alternatively, because Warforged, like, eh,
It's not exactly a robot either.
yeah,
So
depending,
there's that, but
they have like free will and stuff like that. Like,
right.
depending on how you want to play it. I mean, really, you could do it however you want, but um, the way it's described, in whatever supplement I don't even remember where they come from, but the
I
way
think they're
it's
Eberron.
yeah, Eberron, yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense. The way it's described is that they were built, but they have personalities and
Right,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So you could make a Warforged that was built to be like a savage, like attacking robot
That's
that
true.
just chose to be want. They're like, I want to learn magic,
Right, yeah.
and
Well, so
yeah.
that's what I feel though. Like,
Hmm.
what if it was built without the capability of magic? Then it's out of luck. So you'd have to explain that in the backstory, but it's not too hard. But I almost feel like, yeah, in the case like that, you'd have one that's huge. First of all,
Hmm.
it would be like near 8 feet tall, and have like extra like claws or something like that, and it would look scary, and it would look like it is wearing armor,
Hmm.
even when it's not. Like it would look like it's ready for battle.
Yeah, yeah, be like
Um,
armor plated,
and
basically.
then it would it would have a person that would, like, maybe it would be very soft spoken and be like, "Oh no, it's okay. I'm fine over here." And like,
Hmm.
just like have this chilled out person. That see, that could be
And it
fun.
has it got like an augmented compartment for its spell book, like
Yeah. Yeah, like
like
or
Dodie.
like it had a sword in there, but then
Oh
like
yeah,
then it like built a little like duct tape thing onto it, and it's
yeah.
like got a spell book, and it's like, check out what I have. And then it like opens up the spell book like that, and it's like just taped on, and they're like, "What? That's just tape." It's not like a special built-in thing. That's you just put that on there. You just attach that to yourself. Look, I
Yeah,
can tape stuff to me too.
exactly. It makes me think of campaign one Critical Role. It makes me think of Dodie. It-
I've not met this character.
well, Dodie. So Sam, in his infinite wisdom, did this whole thing with Scanlan,
Oh, is
where
this the spoilers for Scanlan?
I guess
Okay.
I don't know, man.
I don't mind it. It's okay.
Campaign one ended a long time ago,
I guess that is true.
like 2 years ago now, two and a
Yeah.
half years ago.
And if you're gonna watch the whole thing, by the time you get to the spoilers, you'll have forgotten that we said this.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
enough. It's long enough that it's how many 100 hours or
Well,
whatever.
so I'll just so Scanlan, left for one reason or another, right?
Okay.
And Sam started to play a different character for a little while.
Hmm.
Uh, Tyrion Darrington was his name. And he was an artificer. This was
Yeah.
back when artificer was like first unearthed arcana,
Hmm.
like just a concept, right? Because it wasn't officially released until what, like last year?
Yeah. It was like right. It was like right before our campaign
Yeah, it was
started.
like right when the campaign started, right?
Yeah.
So like it's been about a year now
Hmm.
that it's been out, and so it wasn't even officially out yet. So he was playing an artificer, and he had a construct that he had built named Dodie, and Dodie was like his personal. He was writing his character was writing a book, and he was like his personal scribe.
Hmm.
So that was his main function.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, "Dodie, take this down," and Dodie would be like,
That's pretty
and
good.
he'd
See,
write
all
stuff.
right. Yeah,
See,
I like that. I
it's
like
fun.
that about that.
It's a fun thought, right? Oh, baskets. Oh, I saw. Yes, baskets
Hi, basket.
here. We don't have anybody who can watch baskets, so baskets on the show. This is
Yep.
basket, by the way. I think this is your first time seeing
Yeah, this is
basket
her first time on camera.
on camera. Yeah, this is basket.
She won't look at the camera. She is actually, I think, camera shy.
Oh,
Like if you take out your phone to start, she'll be like, "All right, I'm done doing
no,
that thing
no,
I was
you
doing."
don't want to do that. But she does like to be pet, so you're warm. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, um, so I just imagine something like that for this Warforged, like a
Yeah,
big hulking thing, and it pulls out a book and a quill.
the quill just like pops out of its shoulder, and it's like
Yeah.
ching.
Exactly.
That would be pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, like it had an attachment on its back for a shield and like a scabbard, and the quill comes out of the scabbard, and the shield attachment just holds a book. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Or well, so okay, what
Uh,
let's talk about maybe another class that we could do a Warforged with. What about a Warforged sorcerer?
okay,
Why would it be a sorcerer? Because you're born a sorcerer.
right. So
So
there,
did some like how did we do that with a Warforged?
okay. So there's a couple of things that a couple of thoughts I have right away. Sometimes sorcerer.
Warforged are sometimes made out of wood, partly
Okay.
sacred tree.
Okay.
Like they just chopped down a sacred tree and built it into a robot. Um, and then it turned out that actually it still had the power of the tree. And maybe it's not good that they did that. Maybe it's not good that they did that.
Maybe. Yeah. The other thing, this is similar to something you talked about before. A lot of times, like sometimes sorcerers are like a bloodline, but sometimes it's like a soul thing.
True.
So maybe like the soul that was infused into the robot body was a magical soul.
Yep.
And the magic is just
Yeah.
still in there, coming out of this thing. Because the thing about Warforged is that they're still like similar enough to humans that or like humanoid creatures in that like their bodies are made of things that like move around, like are pliable and not pliable, but like are conducive to the same kinds of things that a humanoid body would be conducive to. Like you said, like some of parts are made of wood.
Yep.
And there's a lot of natural substances in a Warforged. They're
Right.
not made completely of metal.
Right.
Usually. Right. Yeah. So it would make sense.
Yeah. No, that's good. Are there any other tricky ones? Like a Warforged druid would just be fun to play because then you're all about nature, but you're kind of an abomination of nature.
Yeah.
Or you could be, depending on how you were made, like the process that brought you about.
One thing about druids is they're like kind of like not allowed to use metal. So if you had a Warforged druid, that you could play it as almost like a conflict of like an identity crisis thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Exactly.
Like I love nature, but I'm made of this stuff that's against nature.
Yes.
You know, like
yep.
Something like that.
Yeah. Exactly. What is another class? I guess a Warforged rogue is that like what? I mean, it's a kill bot.
That's a
right.
That's
it's like a sneaky kill bot.
Yeah, that's one of the like when you look at the I guess like different builds of Warforged you can do. That's actually one of them already. Is to make like a stealthy, though I think it's more supposed to be a ranger type thing, but a rogue would fit just as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I could see Warforged Ranger being like a tracking bot that like tracks people over hundreds of miles to kill them and stuff.
I like that idea so much.
Warforged Ranger tracking bot?
A Warforged Ranger that is like a programmable mountain guide or like forest guide.
Oh, that, yeah.
Like, no, that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
I love that idea. That's going in the campaign. You're going to meet a couple of those probably.
That sounds good to me. Well, Basket, any final words for the viewers at home here?
What about that thing?
Yeah, we got a piece of fan art. I guess we shouldn't have made you wait this long to see it.
Yeah, it's
amazing. This one you got to get down in the description and look at it full size too. If I have a link to that. If I don't, I'll figure it out. But whoa,
it's so cool.
They drew me as such a good wizard.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you're a wizard as well?
I think so. I got a pointy hat and a staff.
No, you looked a little more roguish.
I have a pointy hat and a staff.
No, you got one of those tie shirts. It ties up like that.
I thought that was a scarf.
Well, there's a scarf and then a tie shirt. And like a hairy arm. What? You'll see it. You'll see it on the screen right now. You guys can look. You can tell me that Matt looks a little like a scraggly wizard and I look like a wizard with a cool hat. and
yeah, okay.
it's sinking in.
Yeah,
Okay.
I see what you. Yeah,
I tried really hard for that one.
you
Did not. It wasn't going anywhere, guys.
You were reaching pretty far for that one.
No, but we are. Wow, so grateful.
I'm blown away. Honestly,
it's insane.
In the level of detail and the quality. When you showed me, because you sent a picture to me on Discord, but then seeing how big it actually is.
Wow.
Oh man, this thing is
too big for my computer screen.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm so
that's going to be showing up a lot.
Yeah,
that one we were given as a gift. If you guys want art on the show, if you want us to show some stuff, I promise we won't wait until an hour and 15 minutes in every time we have stuff to show.
Yeah.
This one was just it's amazing. It's going to be in thumbnails. It's going to be showing up a lot, actually.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of art and fan art and stuff like that,
somebody's getting licked.
It's okay. I'm used to it. I just like dogs.
Yeah,
I like dogs a lot. Anyway, we're one of the members of our campaign is doing some little drawings of our.
I still have to make my drawing. I don't. I could just send an image, but I don't think that. I think it'd be too obvious.
Yeah, I think that'd be too obvious too. But so I guess I'll have to ask her if she'd be okay with us showing them on the show. I don't see why not.
Yeah, maybe that would be great if we could. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd love to show that off too, because I think that'll be really nice.
Yeah.
But man, so cool.
All right, Basket.
Yeah, look at the camera.
Yeah. Here, look. Oh, you're so close. You're almost looking at the camera. That would have been great. She's not going to do it. Now she thinks that we're going to give her food too.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that looks like... Oh, okay, no. It's not that. It's not that, Basket. Don't worry. Guys, this has been a great episode. We will... Oh, she's leaving. Basket's gone.
Nope.
No, she's sitting.
She just was adjusting her position on my lap.
All right, we'll see you later.
Bye. You're going to be internet famous, Basket.